What's up, it's your boy Luke. A brand new episode of Family Talk starts now. It's your boy Luke, and I'm super happy and super excited to be back with a brand new episode of Family Talk for Volume 4. And you should know by the title of this episode, the police pulled me over, that this is going to be, it's not even a bad thing, you know what I mean? It's just an experience, you know what I mean? Could have gone worse, so I definitely think I got blessed in this situation. But this is my first time getting pulled over by like an actual cop like that. When I went to college, I got, I was going to my dorm, I was driving to my dorm, and it was dark, so I missed a stop sign. It wasn't anybody out or anything like that, so it wasn't a dangerous situation. But of course, you shouldn't run a stop sign. Absolutely, I know that was wrong. But this is my first time actually getting pulled over by a cop, and this happened. This happened like a few months ago. So at the end of last year, like the very end of last year, December of last year, and I was driving home, and I wasn't paying attention to the speed limit. It was like one of those back roads, you know what I mean? Plus it was dark, so it wasn't anybody out or any people, walking or any cars driving. So I really wasn't paying attention to my speed, and I wasn't looking for like a speed. I didn't see a speed limit sign, I'll say that. And I'm like, y'all maybe like so like hell bent on like speed limits, but I'm like, you guys don't have like any of like, because like the railing has like that on like the highway has like yellow things to make it light up, you know what I mean? I forget what it's called. They don't have any of that on the speed limit sign. So I'm like, yeah, we have headlights, but you guys are not making that, visible or accessible, or you know what I mean? It's not a fluorescent, like even like crossroad signs or, for like a train, that sign is yellow. These speed limit signs are in white, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But anyway, I said all that to say, I was going a little fast. I was going to 40 and 30. That's what he clocked me at, he said. And I actually pulled into the building parking lot of where I was staying. And he pulled me over. I was like, ooh, my heart kind of dropped and it kind of started beating fast. I was like, ooh, I got scared, honestly, because everything that I've heard, everything that I've seen, I've been seeing stuff like, police brutality and all this stuff in the news since I was young in high school, so over 10 years, you know what I mean? So I've heard those stories, so I was like, oh God, please, so I was praying, and I remember what I saw, in the videos, so I took my wallet out, and put it on the dashboard because it has my ID in it, so you can see that visible. You can see me trying to go in my pocket, and then I'm grabbing something else, and then I put my hands, on the steering wheel, both my hands on the steering wheel, so you can see where my hands are. And then of course, like they said, just be respectful, even if it's a good situation or it's a bad situation. This situation was a good situation, I'm happy to report. It definitely made me more conscious, even if it's laid out, there's nobody out there at all to look at the speed limit signs or try to look for a speed limit sign. I'm not really like a daredevil or a speeder anyway, you know what I mean? Like, of course, if it's a 55, I'm not going 55, but I'm also not going 70, you know what I mean, or 65 or anything like that, so I'm pretty good about my speed anyway. But yeah, so it made me conscious of that. But this situation is a good situation, going back to that, because he actually came on the passenger side. I'm thinking about No Scrubs when I said that. TLC, No Scrubs. And I won't say that because I am not trying to get this episode flagged, so they can take it down. But anyway, so he came on the passenger side. I think it was two of them. I don't know why it was two of them. I think it was one car though, so maybe it was just two guys in a car anyway. So he came up on the passenger side, rolled down the window. Very nice, very polite, down to earth. It wasn't seem like he was, give me any type of bull, you know what I mean? So he was like, hey, I just want to let you know that you was going to 40 and 30, and a lot of people have been reporting people going fast in this area, which I had no freaking clue. And he was like, he asked me for my license and registration and my ID and all that stuff. So I had all that. Gave him that, no problem. Had all that on deck. Both my parents actually ever since I got my first car, we're very good about making sure that I have all that together. When I got my first car, I was 17, and I owned it, thankfully. So, I had the registration was in my name, and the title was in my name and all that stuff. So I knew, to make sure that I had that and keep it in the car. So I gave him that. But and it probably it could have been because I was in the moment and it seemed much longer. But I definitely remember him taking a while. I'm like, okay, I don't have any tickets. This is actually my first time being pulled over by the police. So, well, you know what I mean? If there's nothing on my record, there's no tickets or anything, parking violations, nothing on my on my ID. Why would it be taking so long? And the registration is correct. You can see my name on it. So yeah, I didn't understand why it was taking so long, but he brought it back. He actually apologized for it taking so long. I don't know. He didn't tell me why, but he apologized for it, so I appreciate that. But he was like, yeah, I'm going to give you a warning this time, and just try to watch your speed, and yeah, you have a good night. So I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. But during that time, I was still nervous, but like after he took my registration and my ID, there was like a calmness that came over me, because I was just like, of course I don't think it's happened to innocent people who don't do anything. But then I'm like, God forbid something like that happens. Like I didn't have anything illegal in the car. I wasn't of course, it wouldn't have been a situation to where I could have possibly gotten a DUI or anything like that. So I was like, the most you could have done was speed, you know what I mean? So that's what I was thinking, and that's what happened. So I was like, yeah, that, you know what I mean? So I was like, I didn't do anything that's, what's the word I'm looking for? That's incriminating or anything like that. So, yeah. So I was just thankful and grateful that was a good situation. And, yeah, that he was actually nice. And, it wasn't, a situation to, it could have been really bad because it was two cops, Caucasian males. I'm a big black guy, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I could have went left, I could have went something different, but the reason why I shared this experience with Family Talk is because it was the first time for me, and it was it was scary, honestly, because everything that's gone on. And I know some people wouldn't want to admit that they were scared, and I don't necessarily want to admit that either, but it's true. I was, because of things that's happened. I mean, to even family members, you know what I mean, that have been murdered. And so, yeah, there's just been a lot of stuff that's happened. Yeah, so, yeah, I was definitely, you know what I mean? So I was grateful that, it was a good situation, that I had everything I needed, that there was a calmness that came over me, of course, to take away all of my, me being apprehensive or, whatever the case may be, but it was something that came over me. It was like, no, be good. You're going to be all right. So that was a blessing. And like that type of calmness usually comes when there's a situation. So it's not oh, I'm late, oh, everything's going to be okay. Like, it's not that type of calmness to where it's like it happens so often, but it happens often enough to where I know where it comes from. I feel like it comes from above. I feel like it comes from God letting me know that it's going to be all right, even though I don't know how. And it always does end up being all right. So, yeah. But then I also did want to bring awareness to, look up the videos or whatever the case may be, because the fact of the matter is, to make changes about police brutality and discrimination against people of color when it comes to police, us being upset to the point to where we're belligerent when we get pulled over or have an experience with the police is not going to change that, unfortunately. And it is definitely justifiable for us to be upset and to have all the feelings and emotions that we do, but that's not going to help change it as far as being belligerent with them, you know what I mean? Of course, use that passion to stand up and, whether if it's, talking on social media, and I don't mean that in a passive way, I mean actually bringing awareness to it, or being a part of different communities and organizations that helps people of color against police brutality, voting. You know what I mean? Voting helps. We have an election coming up this year. Of course, we have local elections every 2 years. So, I mean, that kind of stuff matters. So, use your voice for a purpose, honestly. You know what I mean? Because, of course, like I keep saying, it's justified that we are upset and that we, have the emotions we have towards police when they do us wrong. But if you, on the grand scheme of things, if you want, positive reinforcement and things to happen in our favor, I do believe you have to use more sugar than salt. I do. And I don't mean that to be passive and just, be rude. I mean, to be passive and just to let them walk all over you. Definitely stand up for yourself and use your voice. But you just instantly, getting upset, being belligerent and going off or whatever the case may be, that's not going to help, even though it's definitely understandable for you to feel that way. So I would say, do your research. Even, they have laws. I don't know all of them, but and please don't quote me on this, and please don't, look this up and fact check this yourself. But I believe they can't search your car unless you consent for them to search your car. So if they ask to search your car, you can say, no, I do not consent, I believe. So there's things like that to where, if and of course I need to know for sure. It's not committed to memory, but I do believe I saw a video like that, but I definitely would like to look at that again, or, something similar to that, so that I can know that for sure. But yeah, so know about the laws, and, keeping your hands, on the steering wheel, both your hands on the steering wheel, and putting your wallet on the dashboard. It's not about, and then being respectful, it's not about conforming. It's really just about doing, putting your best foot forward as far as, trying to avoid any conflict with the police. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to do that. They shouldn't take you trying to get your wallet out of your pocket as a threat and not being able to see your hands as a threat. But that's the times we live in. So you not doing that is not going to change that. You know what I mean? Like I said, learn about the laws and voting so that we can help change the laws and being part of organizations and bringing awareness. That's the thing that can help. So I like to say, be safe, stay educated, use your power, use your voice, use your freedom and your power to vote, because black people have not even been able to legally vote for 100 years. So it hasn't even been a century yet. And I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm laughing because that's just, even saying that out loud is just preposterous to me. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, people say, they feel like, they do what they want to do when it comes to numbers in the polls, when it comes to voting. But I'm just hopefully that's not true. But even if that is true, what is it going to hurt for you to go vote? You know what I mean? It's free to vote. I believe you can vote online, so that's free. And, you know what I mean? So even if you want to say, you don't want to use your gas to go vote, or, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be, there's different options of voting. So yeah, I haven't been able to vote that long. I haven't been able to vote for 10 years yet. But yeah, I did miss the 2022 election. Not the election, the voting, because of COVID. And that's the year I got COVID, so I was even a little bit more scared to be around people. So the first year I was able to vote because I turned 18 in 2017. So I was able to vote in 2018. I did that, and then I voted. I think, what is it called? The ballot, whatever. I voted by mail in 2020 because of COVID too, because that was the year that it broke out. You know what I mean? So I was getting a little bit more comfortable in 2021, but then of course in 2022, that's when I got COVID. It wasn't because I was comfortable; it was because actually somebody I was close to and spent a lot of time with, they got COVID and gave it to me. So yeah. And that's not funny, but I'm laughing because there's so much I'm not saying. But yeah, I already did an episode about that in volume 2, which, that's crazy, which was 2 years ago now, about, catching COVID. But yeah, in 2024, I am going to vote. Not only, is it time to vote locally, but it's also time to vote for the presidential election. So, I'm going to use my voice. And yeah, so that is my experience about getting pulled over by the police. I hope you learned something about this. I hope you learned something from this episode and by me talking. And yeah, please share with your friends and your loved ones the podcast in general, but this episode because I think it can really help a lot of people. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I will see you guys next time I'm on Family Talk. She's back. Catch our co-host Brenda back this year on Family Talk for Volume 4, starting this Friday for Part 1 of our 2-part special, 10 Years of Pain.
I think the hardest part for me was not having my child, not able to talk to my child. That was devastating.
There are some things that could have been handled better and differently. I won't speak on because then other people get involved.
I don't know if there's anything that we missed. Can you think of anything?
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot that we missed. Well, we don't want to get sued for defamation.
I still was able to go to work and take care of my family in my house. So, and then I had to repair doors and stuff, and they kicked in my windows, and all that had to be replaced. Hey, it's Brenda Sanders.
What's up? It's your boy Luke P. Sanders. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Family Talk. Be sure to follow us at Family Talk Limited Podcast on Facebook.